talk about action agreements, which again is one of those things that I think pre-pandemic most speakers didn't really pay attention to. It's just kind of like, yeah, here's what I'm going to do, here's what you're going to do. We sign,
Yes.
you kind of move on. And then the pandemic hits and it's like, oh dang, like I really got to pay attention. What does my contract actually say? Like, what are some of the basic elements that every speaker agreement, speaker contract needs to have?
When I used to represent celebrities, when I worked at the Speakers Bureau, I recognized how important it was to document every bit of time that they would be with the client doing something, because people would say, hey, we'd like to book Ray for a keynote and on such a date. But then as it drew nearer, oh, can we have him come do a meet and greet? Oh, can we have him do a VIP thing? So we got really stringent about the time. And so really talk to them. Are you going to want me before? Are you going to want me to do something after? What takes place before and after? Like, really understand the mechanics of the meeting and your times that you're actually committing to. I think maybe people haven't been quite as intentional about that as they could have been and should have been. Now, I am not a contract expert, but I will say that my philosophy on things, like, we can work it out. And so I would not necessarily consult a lawyer if I was drawing up my own contract for speaking, simply because I just believe that's the philosophy that I go by. And I hope never to be sued. I hope never to sue anybody else over a contract. I would just like to think that if I have your deposit, so 50% down, standard, I have your deposit, that we'll be able to apply it somewhere out into the future. That's my goal.
I would totally agree. My own speaking agreement, it was never ran by a lawyer or anything like that. It's just kind of like if something pre-pandemic in the less than 5 situations where some issue arose. And again, it's super rare, but because of the pandemic, it brought it to light of like, all right, we got to pay attention to this. Most of the time, you're not going to end up in some type of legal situation or legal battle. Like ultimately, this is a relationship business. You want to make sure that you are doing right by the client, and how you handle that situation is oftentimes going to make or break you in the future.